Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about a very modern attack vector, which is kind of the Web3 world. Ooh. So Web3 is, there's a few, well, I don't know if everyone's figured out what Web3 is, but it's more modern technology.
Right.
Peer-to-peer transfers, payments, privacy, more anonymous, all of these kind of things. And there's a bunch of tech in there, blockchain, consistent themes. You hear things like the Metaverse get brought up in this context.
Right. Well, let's agree that we don't know what's going to happen with the Metaverse fraud yet, because the fraudsters don't know.
Well, no one's committing Metaverse fraud because there's no money to be made.
Exactly.
Today.
They're not going to do it until there is money to be made.
Right. And that's a consistent theme. If there's no money there, or there's no way to make money, they're not going to bother. So
Remember
they're going to go back to the traditional flavors of fraud in the interim. But there are a number of really interesting reasons to go attack a Web3 styled company. We work with a number of kind of NFT styled companies. So they will have, an NFT is a non-fungible
token
as opposed to a fungible token. Right. Very different things.
Yeah.
Yep.
As opposed.
Yep. Completely different. So non-fungible tokens are an object that theoretically is unique. So it has value because it's the only one of its kind, as opposed to something you can just continue to keep creating.
Sure.
So this is similar to like a shoe drop. So it might be like, well, I got a limited edition pair of shoes. You're going to buy that because there's a good demand to get that asset. Prices go up and I can resell it later. Right. So I think that's kind of that is the theory behind kind of the NFT concept.
And some of these NFTs are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right. This is real money.
So there is money to be made from a fraud perspective. Yep. And again, if a fraudster can make money, that's where they're at. So think about, and you mentioned the blockchain. Let's kind of agree that really you're not going to hack into the blockchain. If it's done properly, you're not going to hack into the blockchain.
Right. We're assuming that. That's right. Let's just assume that as a baseline.
Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that fraud's not going to happen, because social engineering is out there. You've got all these other ways to defraud the customers who are using the blockchain or NFTs. How do you trick someone into doing that? Well, you have to establish trust with that potential person. How do you establish trust? Well, social media is one way.
Yep.
You can set up fake social media accounts. You can trick someone into sending what they think is to a legitimate wallet, and instead it's your wallet, the criminal's wallet. You can offer free tokens, so you can take over existing or find a social media account. We've seen these types of attacks. Yep. You could take over someone's really popular social media account.
And then post a link saying, we'll give you some of this currency. If you put a little bit in, we'll return quid pro quo. Totally legitimate.
You see that? You see there's a huge problem right now.
I hear Elon has this issue.
Elon has this issue. He's had this issue, right? But there's also a huge problem with the bridges between tokens. And that's where a lot of fraud's happening. This idea of one token being exchanged for another.
Yep.
That bridge between the two, it turns out that while the blockchains are pretty secure, those bridges sometimes are not.
The weak middleman.
That's the weak middleman attack. So you've got that. You've got social engineering attacks. You've got those bridges types of attacks. You've got like domains, account takeovers that are hidden. You've got all these different areas of attack where fraudsters find profit.
And there's one other kind of variant. So a lot of the Web3 gaming products are play to earn. So as you play and use the product, you're earning cryptocurrency that's on the blockchain. And then you use that to buy objects, NFTs, things like that in these in-game experiences. But because there's an avenue for you to play to earn, and that's how they encourage people to build the economy, there's a great opportunity for fraudsters to at scale play to earn. So using bots and scripts and automation to go and actually play these games and level up the accounts.
Profitable.
Yeah, and then they can use all of their pooled assets to purchase something really expensive and rinse and repeat. So it becomes a question of fairness as well.
Fair, but we talk about Web3, and now I'm realizing all these other types of frauds that are going on. Like, for example, there's these things called rug pulls. For $200, I can create my own token or have it created for me.
Yep.
And then pump it up, get enough investors to put money into it, and then all of a sudden I pull out
and go on a holiday and never come back.
Right, and there's very little regulation in that marketplace.
So there you go. That's kind of the Web3 segment. Tune in for the next segment in future. Thanks all.